Alfredo.
How are you?
How you doing, buddy? Come on in.
How are you?
Come on in. Good. Do you have the documents with you?
I have it. I have a friend over there. I just want to see that you have everything so we can.
Absolutely. You have friend right out here?
Yeah, no, he's in the car.
Okay, I just want to talk to you though.
No. He's not going to come in. I just.
Okay. All right, let me grab it. I'll show you.
What you just saw there is a bombshell video of an FBI sting operation released by the DOJ featuring Epstein's old butler, Alfredo Rodriguez. In this video, it looks like Rodriguez believes he is selling a personal notebook of Epstein's to someone representing a lawyer of Epstein's victims. Now, Rodriguez claims the contents of this book is full of the names and contact information of wealthy businessmen with whom Jeffrey Epstein was associated. Take a look at some of the shocking clips we have from this video and notice when Rodriguez mentions Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly being in possession of a database including naked underage girls.
Here is all the. Let me just highlight this for you. If more is interested in this, Massage, Florida. All the phone numbers of the girls. And when I had the subpoena, we had my writing. They went to the garbage. You will see a lot of important people here, but let me just show you the personal secretary Epstein. Her address in New York, emails, all of this they asked me, I don't remember. They used to have a computer so powerful, they used to have a water radiator to cool the computer because they used to download pictures like that so fast. Girls, she had nice breasts, she had this and that.
You saw that stuff?
Yeah.
On the computer?
Yeah.
Pictures of the girls?
Mm-hmm.
When they hid stuff like that?
Yeah, I testified that.
You testified
Yeah,
that?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Brad knows about it. But I couldn't prove that. That's why they need the guy that fixed the Citrix systems. He lives in Ohio. I'm going to him. Okay?
Rodriguez was subsequently arrested for failing to turn over the book to authorities and eventually pleaded guilty to obstruction charges, and Rodriguez later passed away in 2016. And as time goes on, the internet continues to uncover more shocking files released by the DOJ, such as one referencing cloning babies, but I will get into that later. What I want to talk about now is a statement on the Pam Bondi hearing that was posted on the family social media account for Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted of sex trafficking in connection with Epstein and is currently serving 20 years in prison. It reads, America's Attorney General told a House Judiciary Committee meeting today she hopes Ghislaine Maxwell dies in prison. That is an extraordinary thing for a nation's chief law officer to wish. It sounds less like justice than bloodlust. Ghislaine is serving a 20-year sentence, not a life term. To hope it proves fatal blurs the line between punishment and revenge. So it appears to be responding to a moment where Congresswoman Ross pressed Bondi on Maxwell's transfer from Tallahassee to the minimum security facility in Texas. And now this was a move that Maxwell was apparently ineligible for, and Bondi claimed she learned about the transfer after the fact and wasn't involved. When asked who authorized it, Bondi deflected with this.
Who sent her there since you don't agree she should be there?
I said I do not agree she should receive special treatment. She was transferred, I learned after the fact, to the same level facility, and that is a question for the Bureau of Prisons. I was not involved in that at all. The same level facility, I don't know why, but instead of talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, who hopefully will die in prison, you should be talking about Irina Zarutska.
The post on the Maxwell social media ends with this. The Justice Department is already under scrutiny for its handling of the Epstein files. It now faces a simpler question. If the guardian of the law talked like a shock jock, what faith should the public have in the system she runs? The whole situation reveals a troubling paradox. It appears Ghislaine Maxwell's family is criticizing the very justice system that made Ghislaine's transfer possible. Whether the criticism stems from fear of a life sentence or calculated strategy, one thing is clear. The handling of this case continues to raise questions about equal justice under the law.
Secretary Lutnik today was testifying on the Hill, and he said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children, and that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Lutnik right now, or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Lutnik's performance?
That question, does the White House still stand behind Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnik, came after Lutnik admitted under oath that he visited Jeffrey Epstein's island in 2012 with his wife and children.
And we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together.
Now, this contradicts a previous statement he made where he claimed to have cut all ties with Epstein in 2005. And what's even crazier is that newly released documents appear to show that Lutnik remained in contact with Epstein through 2018, 15 years after he claimed to have cut ties with the convicted sex offender. So the reporter asked a simple question: does any of this matter to the White House? And the response was this.
No, Secretary Lutnik remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary. I will just point out that there are a lot of wins in the news this week that people in this room have not asked about, because you continue to ask questions about the same subject, so let me point them out for you.
Now, just to give some quick context as to why this Lutnik situation matters beyond just the optics, sitting officials are expected to avoid conflicts of interest and entanglements that compromise their service. However, there is no formal mechanism that forces a cabinet secretary to resign over personal associations. That decision sits almost entirely with the president. Congress can impeach, but that is a process that requires a House vote and 2/3 majority conviction from the Senate. So all of this to say, when the White House says, quote, the president fully supports the secretary, they have essentially decided that Lutnik's ties to Epstein are not a problem. Social media is pointing out that the subject the press secretary seems annoyed reporters keep bringing up is a sitting cabinet member's ties to a convicted child sex trafficker. And instead of addressing it, the White House pivoted to talking about wins, which, if you remember from yesterday, is similar to what Attorney General Pam Bondi did during her hearing on the Epstein Transparency Act. Here is an example.
The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
While we're on the subject of the Pam Bondi hearing, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett appeared to drop an absolute bombshell at the hearing. Check this out.
I don't know what the president might have done with Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike this administration, I believe that facts matter. So let's talk about the facts. Fact number one, Donald Trump is one of the most named people in the Epstein files. At least 5,000 files contains more than 38,000 references to Trump, his wife, or Mar-a-Lago. Fact number two, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell made young girls available to Trump on multiple occasions. For example, according to this file, Ghislaine Maxwell presented a young girl to President Trump who spent more than 20 minutes apparently flirting with her.
Now, none of this is proven. The Congresswoman is just reading what she has seen in the files, but Crockett didn't stop there. She then went after the Attorney General directly.
Democratic colleagues have been attacked. This entire committee hearing, they have been lied on, and frankly, the American people weren't looking for that. They were looking for answers about the corruption that they see coming from this administration. In the written testimony of this witness, she stated that when she took office, she had two main goals. The first was to end the weaponization of justice, and second, to return the department to its core mission. Not only have you lied about both, you've intentionally done the exact opposite. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps.
And then she brought it home with this.
Saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these files that suggests that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles. What's crazy about all of this is just that this is a big cover-up. And this administration is engaged in it. In fact, this administration is complicit.
Bondi responded by saying this.
This is what she didn't want to talk about. Texas. From Cuba, convicted, homicide, arson, weapon offense.
Convicted. So what we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are sitting behind you that you refuse to even acknowledge they are here.
And as I mentioned previously in the video, the internet continues to uncover more shocking files released by the DOJ. In this one, a man that goes by the name of Brian Bishop sent an email to Epstein that reads, "Attached is the doc you requested. It's the use of funds spreadsheet for the designer baby and human cloning company." This gets us out of our self-funded garage biology phase to the first live birth of a human designer baby and possibly a human clone within 5 years. Once we reach the first birth, everything changes and the world will never be the same again, much less the future of the human species. Another email in the files, allegedly sent from Jeffrey Epstein to a man named Barnaby Marshy, reads, "Should we build a mind reader? It would use de-encryption, new understandings of the brain. Can we involve the New York ACAD of Sciences in one of our projects? I think it would be good for you as well as them. Should we do a project on tissue regeneration?" And in parentheses it says cloning. "I'm excited to accompany you as a voyeur on Madarin's adventure." This gives the public a peek into what Epstein was possibly interested in outside the world of finance. Now, as each day goes on, people come up with new theories and new opinions regarding the DOJ's release of the Epstein files, and the public continues to dig through the millions of redacted documents that the DOJ has released, along with lawmakers doing the same thing. And as the months continue to go on, lawmakers are going to find more and more and more things in those unredacted files that are hopefully released to the public to give everybody a much clearer view about what was possibly going on with Epstein and his inner circle. As always, drop a comment down below. My name is Jakson Buhaj, and I will see you in the next one.